Outdoors. We're going to talk about tracks for your Polaris Ranger, side-by-side utility vehicle, or four-wheeler, and whether you might want them or need them. Alright, as you can see from the video footage there and what I have sitting behind me here, I have tracks on my Polaris Ranger, and what we're going to talk about today is whether you would want them or if you would need them. That question would come up and have lots of different answers, reasons, explanations. So let's get into some of those. First of all, let's talk about price. So that might be a deciding factor for you because it was right around $5,000 to put those on there. And yeah, I could have saved a little bit by putting them on myself, but having a professional do it and that does it all the time, sometimes that's worth it. So cost is definitely high for something like that, but the nice thing is once they're installed, you can take them off and put your street tires or regular off-road tires for in the summertime back on, or for whatever reason you might want them on. I do have my UTV license, so obviously I don't want to drive these down the road, so in the summertime those will come off and the regular tires will go back on, so that is a plus. One of the other negatives is it will slow you down. Now, whether that's a good or bad thing, you can decide that. You get about half the speed out of those, so it really slows you down from what you used to be able to do with them. I haven't found that to be an issue. I don't really need to go over 35 miles an hour with my UTV, so having the tracks on there, slowing it down doesn't matter. One of the big pluses is weight distribution, and that can be a plus for several different reasons. One, you can see in the footage that I rolled in, I'm going through some pretty deep snow. I did go down a ditch where I know for sure I would be stuck if I didn't have tracks on. We use them on the ice fishing a lot. You probably see them in the videos in the background with the UTV on the ice, and that gives you better traction on the ice, and it spreads out your weight on the ice so that you're not so centered. So I was actually on ice this spring that if I didn't have those tracks on, I wouldn't even have had that thing out there on them. But the weight distribution, you can see the large footprint of those tracks there. One of the things that keeps you up on the snow like a snowmobile also spreads out the weight in the ice conditions so that it's actually safer on the ice than if you didn't have tracks. So there's several pluses and minuses. You'll have to take into consideration yourself on whether the cost is worth the benefits of being able to do things that a snowmobile would normally do, or spreading out the weight or things like that. So, and in mud as well, you can drive through a lot more mud with those. I did that this past summer, drove through some muds and some sloughs and things like that that I would have never considered with regular tires. So there you go, there's a few pluses and minuses to tracks. If you have any questions about the tracks on certain aspects of them, or things that you'd like to know on my experience with the tracks, put a comment down below. I try to answer all my comments, and if you have a specific question on the tracks, I've had them on there for a couple of winters now. So if you have questions on those that you'd like me to answer, if I can answer them, I'll gladly respond, so put a comment down below. This is Dan with 3D Outdoors reminding you to get into the outdoors and enjoy everything it has to offer. If you like this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button at the bottom. See you next time.